everybody. Welcome to another episode, a very special episode of Liquid Rooster Podcast.
First guest on this podcast.
First guest, and from what I understand, you guys know each other for quite some time.
Yeah, 30-something years.
First guest has my same name and likeness, and his name is Albert S. Rosales.
He's my father. S is for super tier.
Yeah.
S tier.
I have more hair.
Yeah.
We all do. We all have more hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Time is a cruel enemy. So, what brings you here today?
Well, you guys wanted to talk to me about a very present subject now, the UFOs, or what the government call them, UAPs.
UAPs, that's right.
And if they're here or not.
Albert S. Rosales is the author of over 16 books.
Yeah.
He has a database of over 30,000 humanoid encounters, and he's been researching for many years. You could buy his books on Amazon. His latest book is UFOs Over Florida, available on Amazon, and it's how many records are in that book?
I can't. It's more than 200 pages, but I don't know how many cases.
Well, there you go. It's an innumerable amount of cases.
Yeah, from back in the 1800s to present.
That's right. There was a flower creature.
That's a weird case in Dade City.
Mm-hmm.
In 1927, so way before the modern era, so-called, of the UFOs or flying saucers.
Okay.
This report that the witness forwarded this report to the investigator, many years later after, the UFOs started showing up. She said that she had an encounter with a craft on the ground, and there were several aliens around the craft. They looked like they had their faces, and around their faces they had like a crown that made them look like a flower.
Right.
And it's kind of a complex case. So
Sometimes I've smoked some flower, and I can tell you it looks like I've seen some aliens.
Every hour.
I haven't. On the hour, baby.
Unfortunately,
I follow Dr. Dre's orders.
The subject of UFOs and aliens brings in a lot of interesting people to give their testimony on what they saw happens or what they believe happened. So how do you kind of like?
I know
when you
because
talk to somebody, how do you know, or how do you?
How many of these people are either crazy or on drugs?
Yeah.
Like what percentage?
No.
Like there must be some part that is real, right? Genuine, unexplainable.
Right.
Well,
but then there's a lot of fucking just crazy people,
Yeah, these are the ones. Most of them have been investigated and stuff.
Also verified. So you cull through those.
No, but I can't vouch
people.
for every one of each
No,
of
of
them.
course.
But,
Of course. I can't even vouch for myself.
So when did
I'm a voucher.
When did you become interested in this subject, in UFOs and in UFO sightings?
After my first anal probe.
Wow.
Clip that. We gotta clip that.
Yeah.
No, back up when I was in high school. Started reading books.
Okay.
It was an experimental time, right?
Yeah.
Before the anal probe.
Right.
And even when I was in the Navy for 4 years, I followed the UFO cases and actually I subscribed a magazine, which I sent that over to every month to my ship or where I would station, and the captain and they came out, "What are you reading this stuff for?" I go, "That's like a hobby. I like to read about UFOs," but they took interest in that.
What did you do for the Navy?
I was a radioman, communications specialist. Back then we used the teletype. We started using satellite. And the teletype writer, the one,
Yeah, it would print out. It would type it out in real time. It would print it, but as a typewriter.
In codes.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Right. Can't let the enemy know either.
They had the tape codes, the bunch of little holes. And
punch cards, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Each hole
tape,
was
it was like a bit,
like an A or a B or a number.
Like break.
And I was able to read those things, believe it or not.
Wow.
A while back.
So the anal probe was good.
Did you have any?
Not the first one.
No, the first time. It's always special, though.
Anything while on a Navy ship or while you were in the Navy? Anything interesting, or have you ever seen anything yourself? Something you would consider a sighting?
Yeah. Was there an inspiration besides the anal probing? Was there an inspiration?
Not really. Not that you can.
Yeah, in Cuba, I had my first experience over there. Maybe I was 8 or 7. in the town where I live, Santa Clara, Florida.
Right.
Santa Clara, Cuba.
Right.
Yeah, same thing, I guess. But there's
The original is usually better.
Yeah.
there was a light outage in the area. Everybody sat outside drinking coffee, and this object, strange egg-shaped craft full of lights flew over the
Egg-shaped
house.
craft,
Egg-shaped. And everybody looked at it and said, "Oh, the Americans." It was U.S. Of course, they blamed it.
So everybody scrambled when they saw the egg?
Most of them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
But,
my God, that was a bad egg joke.
No, I see what you're trying to do.
My goodness.
So okay, so then that kind of sparked
And
the curiosity.
I followed the object and I stood under it for a while, and after that, I don't remember. My mom was calling me.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
Wow.
that sparked kind of a lifelong curiosity, and then so to Albert's point, in the Navy you never saw any, and it's not just aliens, right? Like you don't just research aliens per se.
there's different type of phenomena, but that was one of my several experiences in Cuba. But while in the Navy, there was a couple of weird things, but they were more paranormal than I will say UFOs. I was at Great Lakes Naval Station there in Chicago. I had the night duty watch, and everybody was asleep. Then I started hearing like a knocking sound, and one of the guys came over. "Hey, Albert or Rosales, come here. There's a noise coming out of this guy's locker." And the guy standing there, "What the hell's making that noise?" We opened the door, looked, and the moment we closed it, the knocking started back again.
Really?
"I hear you knocking." and
Incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh wow.
But no, and then the guy.
Eric, we're looking good with the recording. Don't Eric,
It's recording.
brother Eric.
Is it recording?
He can't
I think
hear.
you're trying to look with the wrong eye.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
No, just let us know if it's recording on the. It is.
It is.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think he's hungry. Okay. Anyway.
Cut that.
Cut that.
So yeah. So aliens, gun to your head, are they real?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's
Right.
a question
I mean,
of
just it's
are they
It's
real?
a
I mean,
statistical,
Yeah. Certainty
likely,
almost.
yeah, certainty,
Yeah.
really.
That there are different type of creatures here on Earth besides us.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
So you
and
think
they're-
that? Yeah. I mean,
Well, we're discovering thousands of species every year, right?
like I told you earlier that Tic Tac sighting, that famous Tic Tac sighting by David Fraber.
No, it's pronounced TikTok.
Right.
Yeah, right. And where he saw this Tic Tac shaped
Right.
craft that could be an egg shaped craft if you think about it, because he described it as a white craft.
Pill, like a
Yeah,
pill.
pill shaped. And that this craft, when he saw it emerge out of the water. As it emerged out of the water, did not change speed whatsoever. So, engineers will tell you how difficult that is to do from from air to water, water
Right.
to air, back and forth, and whatnot. But
It sucks. That's what it is.
And I think it's like with no
what does that
visible
tell you? That
exhaust.
they have a base underwater? Or,
Oh no, I believe there's different bases worldwide underwater and underground
Right.
in different locations. We
Right.
They just had so many encounters and reports
Well,
of people being taken to those bases.
Well, there's that famous saying that we know more about the surface of the moon than we know about our oceans. Like, we
Right.
only,
Yeah.
They say 5% of our ocean is explored.
There are more things on heaven and earth than in your dreams of
Yeah.
Osiris.
Well, I have some pretty wild dreams.
Yeah.
Give me some tequila.
And fly in my dreams.
Right. Oh, I've had those vivid dreams. Do you ever vivid dream?
Yeah.
I was me puse payaso, and I was like monitoring my palm. That was
Right.
the tip that I read. So then you would memorize the shape. So when you're dreaming, you're like, okay, this is not it. That means I'm dreaming.
Yeah,
So
I
I remember running down a hallway and the building like exploding, and I was
Yeah.
just flying, and it only lasted like 30 seconds because I was
Right.
like, I knew I was awake. I mean, dreaming, but
I tried counting, certain numbers and certain number sets back and forth, like lucid dream. But I would always just knock out. I always
Right.
just pass out.
well, that's worst case scenario. You have a
Yeah.
good night's rest.
Yeah, so good.
Worst case.
Those dreams. I dreamt that I'm on a spacecraft.
Yeah.
Actually, of course, I wouldn't dream that, but
Right.
and
Looking for that third probing.
no. This is more like a
Yeah, I heard it must
Star
be,
Trek
It must be
thing.
pretty good because I mean everybody always talks about it when they get back. You know, the probably must be pretty. It must
They
be
tend
pretty,
to remember that.
right. It must be pretty
They
spectacular.
forget everything
you know.
else, but they remember that they got played with.
And so there was an era, right? I think in the '60s, or you correct me when I'm inevitably going to be wrong, where there was like a hysteria of abductions and sightings, or it was many reportings, right? Many.
There, I think you're talking about certain years where there's been high activity
Right,
flaps.
right.
Yeah.
Or
So it's
waves
something
or-
that always happens. There's
Yeah.
like a cyclical thing. And
maybe one year would be busy, and next year no.
And what do you think is? You think that's just again mass people, just crazy people, or it's
No,
just activity?
it could be more or less activity.
Right.
I mean, there's I can't. There's always somebody who's crazy there talking about that.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
there's
of course.
all these crazy people.
Yeah.
Except in Washington. Everybody in Washington is definitely not crazy.
Sound of mind.
No, they're criminally insane. But
Focus.
What? So of all the sighting stories that you've seen, I mean, this is probably a tough. There's probably a couple. There's probably a couple stories that stand out as compelling. But as far as like humanoid encounters with close encounters with a third kind, where they saw landing, which is the most compelling or among the most compelling to you? Where
Well,
you're like, wow, it's tough to deny the testimony of 300 people, for example, in
The
Zimbabwe.
1994 and the city of Ruwa, Zimbabwe,
right.
a whole almost a complete school of
Right.
students. I think there were some teachers also. So they saw a craft land behind some nearby trees and then saucer shaped, and then soon a couple of figures came out and they approached the school. There was a lot of witnesses to that event, and it's very well documented.
I heard years later they interviewed the teacher. They got to interview
Yeah.
the teacher and he was
And the
able to
students.
corroborate the story with the students. And, yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's good documentaries on that. But
And
that's
there's
tough. That's tough.
and it's not, and aliens, they're not just limited. They have passports, right? Like they're not limited to just the United States. Like these sightings happen all over the world.
Worldwide, I cataloged
Worldwide, right?
worldwide sources. Yeah.
And what are some? There was one you were telling me. It has a very compelling name, very interesting name, but Vagina
Varginha.
Varginha. The Varginha Chronicles.
Yeah, it looked almost the same, but it's not. It's Varginha. In Brazil,
In the beginning.
In the
In the beginning. In the beginning.
Anyway.
Yeah. So so that's in Brazil, no?
1996 January, there was a crash of a UFO,
Right.
and according to reports and government papers and stuff, all the investigation, they recovered live extraterrestrials, and a
Right.
couple dead, and they were taken by the Brazilian military, and presumably shipped over to the United
Some
States.
alive, some dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a well documented case. It occurred in 1996.
And this was there was also civilian witnesses, or this was
Yeah, civilian witnesses and the military showed up right away, and
There's people,
It's,
witnesses
uh,
at the hospitals where X-rays were taken apparently as well.
one of the military police officers supposedly touched one of
Yeah.
the aliens, a certain
The skin.
and he died.
He ended up dying. Yeah.
And these crafts that these aliens come in, I mean, they must be like something that bends time and space. Because honestly, to send if you're going to be flying intergalactically, we can't do it even at the speed of
No,
light.
no,
So
I'm sure they use some kind of wormholes.
right.
Right. Conventional.
Because otherwise, it'd be more efficient
by
to send
our
a drone.
standard.
You know, you don't have to send.
They probably use like black holes or
Right.
wormholes to go
Right.
right through space and time.
And it's
you know,
just
or whatever.
seconds, right? So I mean, and so again, it's I was reading in a couple of chapters of your most recent book, UFOs over Florida, Humanoid and Other Strange Encounters in the Sunshine State.
Florida man's UFO.
That's right. I was reading. There was a mention of skunk apes. What's that? What's a skunk ape?
Skunk ape is what you call a Bigfoot. You remember the Bigfoot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
About 8 foot tall, full of hair. But
Buddy
they-
into Bigfoot.
yeah, it's like a family.
Yeah.
Close
Like
family,
a cousin.
over here.
cousin.
Like an inbred cousin, would you say?
Here,
They're from Florida, not from Alabama.
Right.
no, this is
Florida skunk ape.
Florida. They call it skunk ape,
Gotcha.
and they're just called skunk ape because they hang up in the Everglades and they whatever. They stink, I guess, after
Yeah.
that.
Right. And so Bigfoot, that's in the Pacific Northwest.
Well,
right?
Bigfoot's been seen all over, not only Pacific Northwest. They have
Yeah.
one of the busiest states with that type of Bigfoot encounters, believe it or not, is Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe they're, reenacting Gettysburg. They're into
Well,
Some
UFO
people think,
reenactments.
there's theories that say that Bigfoot, in the way that we think he existed, or it existed, was a now extinct animal called the short-faced bear that could stand on its two hind legs and walk, but it was a primate as well.
Right,
It wasn't,
okay.
It wasn't a bear per se, but it had the face of a
the,
bear. And he
the
walked
missing
like
link.
Right.
let me
But
tell you.
now either starved or land separations, kind of.
Well, you know about the Hobbit that they found, right?
Yeah.
That's
Indonesia,
real.
Flores Island,
That's,
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's very little that we know. I mean, that's
No, but
that's the ego hubris to think
that-
that we've reached the maximum of knowledge of what life is. I mean, there's been life discovered that's silicon based.
Ego humor is
The ego's banned.
But anyway, I was going to say Bigfoot is not an animal. Bigfoot is an intelligent creature.
That's
More
the,
Oh, you're
intelligent
saying
than-
that he's like
that's the agreed upon.
he's
Yeah.
Homo
There's-
sapien, or he's a sapien.
He's a sapien. He's probably more intelligent than we are, and he has supposedly in some of the encounters, the weirder ones, has telepathic abilities and all kind of. They disappear in front of you, so it's not your typical Bigfoot. That's for
What
sure.
was that show with the Bigfoot that became part of the family?
Oh,
Remember that show?
The
We used to- we used to
Hendersons?
watch
Harry
it.
and the
Yeah.
Hendersons?
Harriet?
that was a movie,
Harry and the
right?
Hendersons, right?
Harry and the
But there was a
Hendersons,
there was a movie, but I think
There was
there
a show
as
too,
well.
right?
Yeah.
I'll probably look that up with the power of Google.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then there's the Yeti and the Abominable Snowman.
The
But that's
Jet-
the same.
The Yeti in the Himalayas.
Geographical.
It just depends where it is. South
Geographical
America,
differences.
they call it Ucumar.
I remember the Chupacabra
Craze.
Oh, I remember
craze
those
here in
days.
Miami. I mean, it was
Yeah, 'cause it's so
nuts.
close to
I
the
It was
wasn't-
like the
South
late
America.
90s.
I was involved with that stuff because I went there to investigate some of the sites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this,
And what was it at the end of the day?
I remember those reports on Primer Impacto
That's right.
about the chupacabra attacks on the ranches in Mexico or.
and the one here in Hialeah Gardens
Yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah?
and stuff.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Harry and the Henderson sitcom.
But anyway, I went to a site of an incident and where they found a dead goat. Somebody saw something, but not exactly sure what it was. But the goat, I saw the dead goat had two holes in the neck, and there was something green oozing out of the holes. Somebody showed up in a pickup truck. They said they don't know who he was. He picked up the goat and took off. So nobody. There was no independent study on
Right.
what was
Right.
Yeah.
or what happened to that goat.
Right.
But one of the residents in the area had seen he said it looked like a creature with long legs and kind of
Hunched
curved or something. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's and so it's
There were reports in Sweetwater.
Wow.
it was all that originated in Puerto Rico, right? Or,
Right. Originally, that's where the supposedly chupacabra sightings
And so
started.
the idea that there's other creatures, other sentient beings, how is it that we don't run into them? When we're at the supermarket, or like they're just good at hiding. They're that sophisticated. They're intelligent, or are there any like
no,
low level worker humanoids? Like
According
they're
to
not-
Those are the ones that become extinct.
No,
that's true. That's true.
according to many researchers, there are a lot of these aliens, the one that are human-like,
Yeah.
live among us, and we don't even know. We can't tell them apart. So you might not go to the
Right.
Indexy or whatever, and the person
Like
next
one
to
of
you.
us right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we know that we're not
One
an
out of
alien
three.
ourselves? Yeah,
One out of
coño,
three,
one at
yeah.
a third.
Or
How do we
Bruno.
know
Bruno.
Bruno? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he looked
Yeah.
away right now. Like, oh, it's not me. That would explain why he is 38 years old, human years, ladies and gentlemen.
In
And so-
in human ears.
Human years.
So you started, you had that experience when you were a child, and you've had other experiences, and so that, what drove you to write this stuff down? Like to compile this?
I started collecting cases. I had reams of paper of cases, and
Because it was just fueled by your own curiosity. You wanted to get to
I
the bottom
finally
of it.
was able to computerize them and put them in different. And somebody said, "Wait, why don't you try to publish couple books on it. And this guy helped me out, and that's what happened. After there were 16 total books.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow. You were saying this last book is over 200 pages. It's and you said you have just about 30,000 records, if not more.
almost 30,000 summaries of supposed incidents.
Some of them are translated.
Some of them translated from the Spanish, French, Italian, many languages, Russian.
Is there any particular country that has that's overrepresented? Let's say that has a lot of cases. Like I know the U.S.
U.S.
Is it because it's big, right? Is that a factor? Or?
And Russia also.
Russia.
Yeah.
And
but-
then
I imagine it's got to do with the amount of land that
Right.
you cover. And
But then there's countries like Chile and Argentina. They're like swamped the whole time with UFO.
well, that's where
incidents.
the Fraber craft was. It's like that part of the Pacific. They were near California, but then there were. But there was another case that they were near, and it's on that
I don't
Pacific
know if
side.
but a second one with Fraber?
No, Fraber per se. I think
Oh,
Fraber
okay,
just got
okay,
one
something
and
else, yeah.
done.
Yeah.
One and done. Tic
That
tac.
could be another one. There's a video recently. I don't know if we can find that. That was by a Colombian pilot. Did you see that one? I sent it to you recently. Maybe in the last week or so.
Is that the one, the pilot or the passenger
he's
that took a
I don't
picture
know
of?
if he's a pilot, but he took a video of this craft where the pilot says that when he saw it off in the distance, he kind of tried to chase it down a little bit, and the thing turned around on him and started zooming towards him. And he's videotaping. He's filming this with his phone, and the thing zooms right by his wing, and you can see that they paused it and they.
Oh,
froze
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah, I
like
saw
a
that.
Silver
I saw that.
metallic thing with no visible engine.
That looked like a manta
No
ray.
flame. Yeah, that looks
No.
kind of like but it's
Yeah.
it's like elongated. Right.
Elon Musk. you said?
Elon Musk made it.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
Right.
Muscated.
Yeah. He said Elon Musk has said that he doesn't think that while that aliens don't exist because while the secrecy. Why haven't we seen one? Why haven't we?
Well, I mean, it's you could always say that if they're more intelligent or they're more they have interdimensional powers, they're OP. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that they're very overpowered.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that there's crazy people, but I also think that there's
Oh,
a
but
lot,
also
an
aliens
infinite amount that we
exist.
don't know. So
A lot of the crazy
but-
people you could tell
you could kind of tell, right?
what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Because I spoke to a woman on the phone one time. She told me, "Yeah, I'm an ex-NSA sniper." And
Oh shit.
I go, "Hello?" Yeah, and I was involved in the recovery, and then I'm running away from the government, and so they're after me. You need to. I go. You got the wrong number. This is a Chinese restaurant. Well, that was crazy though.
Yeah, of course.
Wasn't there a French couple that came from France or something that came looking for you that knocked on your door back in the day?
In the 90s, yeah,
Wow.
there were like French investigators that came over and we exchanged information.
But they just showed up. I guess
No.
the days before email.
Yeah, they showed up.
And they just
Yeah, because back then they didn't, well, it was
Wow.
90 something. They could, I don't know.
They could have at least sent a
Do
teletype.
you remember what their faces looked like? Or could they have been
They look like French guys.
probing men in black?
No.
Or men in hats.
Yeah.
Were they wearing hats?
No, there were men without hats.
Oh,
All right.
that's another.
But they had gloves, right?
That's right. And so
But it didn't fit.
and then of course, okay. But here's a question. Like, does every government know about these things? Like Russia knows it, and the U.S. Like whatever
Yeah.
aliens have landed on their territory, like the
all-
technology, or
Sure.
All major.
why aren't they just fucking each other up with this? Hey, I'm gonna use my alien shit against you.
We
I think
probably
it's
already.
because they know that it's not as easy to reverse engineer, or because they have their own set of crashed craft. I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think
That's
we
the
have
way it
we
is.
have reverse engineer, and they built some craft
Right.
very
Well, like the
similar.
SR-71 Black Hawk.
Or the
Yeah.
black triangular shaped craft. A lot
Yeah,
of them
the
could be-
Black Triangle is a very highly reported
And not this
site.
one,
Yeah.
That's the one I was talking about, but
Right.
whatever it's called. But yeah, it's Yeah, it's interesting that we don't leverage this technology more.
But, you know-
If we're not, unless there's some sort of technological blockade,
Lately,
we're not understanding it.
there has been a push to kind of declassify a lot of those things, and to for the government to come cleaner with.
Yeah,
as
put it
far as
on the open
UAPs
market.
and
Let the
yeah,
market
exactly.
figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like our boy, Bob Lazar.
Oh, Bob Lazar. Right. He
Bob
experienced
Lazar.
sightings, right? Like
Yeah.
he worked at a thing. He worked at a government lab, right?
And
Right.
he testified
Los
that
Alamos.
that we had created craft like back
that
engineer
we that we
from
reverse
from
engineer.
recover
It's like
UFOs and stuff.
a gravity manipulation thing.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
And he was shown several models and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've seen his interviews, and I saw, of course, his Joe Rogan interview, and I mean, he seems pretty airtight. The thing is that they could have easily got him and fed him a lot of misinformation on purpose. I'm sure he was involved in the way that he says he was involved, and all that, but
They also wiped his record clean.
yeah,
apparently,
that's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird. But
That's
then,
the thing.
but then
I mean,
he
but it's
also
possible to
appeared.
happen.
Right, yeah, the lab says, no, we don't have any record of him working here. They
Right.
denied that he was ever employed there. But then, I think it was, I don't want to get the investigator wrong, but some investigator found George, Bob Lazar's picture in an employee journal, like in one of those yearbooks kind of thing, so that he did work there. So just by that kind of thing, and then why does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like why with him? I mean, I guess
Right.
it could, but it's so weird for it to happen to somebody who's claiming what he's
Well,
claiming.
but he's not the only one who's claimed that, so there's confirmation that something maybe like that is happening.
Right.
Right. And I think he got in trouble with these men in black, the government men in black, because
the government has raised
he went
his
to the
lab.
media, because he brought the media involved, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, his whole predicting element 115. It's not so much predicting the element 115.
we could always smash more protons and make more elements.
Yeah, you could always say I predict element 150 or whatever.
Right. They say that once we get to element 120, past
Right.
120, then it gets stable again.
Right. Well, he said that technology in the ship that he was, researching or whatever, that was a stable version of element 115.
Right.
That's one of the
So-
confirmations
right.
that makes them.
And
Legit.
element 115 as a stable element has been discovered, I think, pretty recent in history. I think whenever it was added to the periodic table, I think it was
Right.
in 2011 or something.
Right.
I'm not sure about the year, but pretty recently, that they discovered it in a particle collider.
Yeah, you could always just smash more protons. It's
Right.
just adding more protons. in,
Exactly.
but it's highly, highly unstable.
Yeah.
But our boy Bob Lazar got a jar
taste
full.
of the stable kind. Yeah.
And so, do you focus primarily, Albert, on the creatures, or do you also look at the crafts and stories of that as
No,
well?
actually, the occupants or the creatures, or what we call humanoids,
That's your primary
reported in
focus.
connection to
Right,
UFO incidents.
right.
Yeah.
And what are some stories of what do they say they're here for? What?
A lot of them are here to warn us that about our possible future cataclysmic events here on Earth because of the climate change and et cetera, et cetera. They're trying to warn us, that we have to change our ways or try to.
They should get on
prevent this.
TikTok and Instagram, because then they'll get more followers that way.
Yeah. And I read that sightings kind of went crazy after the first nuclear explosion.
Yeah,
That's when they really
Right.
started paying
That's
attention.
when humans started being really extra stupid to each other.
Exactly.
that's because they realized that we had the a power to be able to
To
affect-
end everything. right,
Destroy
and-
the
right.
planet, yeah.
Or ourselves. The planet will survive. The planet will
Right.
adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
But we will be like the dinosaurs. We'll be out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, the dinosaurs never went to church, kids. So, that's probably what.
They're trying to bring back. They're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
trying to clone. Did you
Yeah.
read about that? The
They
woolly
should
mammoth? Yeah.
let it loose here in
Miami?
Yeah.
Beach.
Get some mammoth steaks.
In Miami Beach during spring break. Nah, it's too hot for the woolly mammoth.
Right.
Down here.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't be down
Yeah,
here.
well,
Probably
they
be
would
up
be
there
up
in
north.
New York or something.
Yeah, put them in New York City.
But those beachos that the Tuscan Raiders ride.
Yeah,
with the
they're like
tusks.
huge
Those are
yaks.
elephants with
Yaks
those are elephants with fur on it or whatever.
Right.
Those guys must be sweating
Yeah.
yeah,
on
they're in
Tatooine.
the desert.
You know, Tatooine was filmed near the city of Tatooine
Yeah.
in Tunisia. Yeah, but it's just
Really? That's what
spelled
city-
in French.
city's called? Oh, wow. Well, Tatooine.
But yeah, I think that it's incredible because it's kind of like you know, we're not alone, and it's silly to think that in a universe as vast and as complex as ours,
Right.
you know, that we are the only expression of life and
Yeah.
No,
consciousness.
it would be like
No way.
I think it would be. Yeah, it just couldn't be because it just wouldn't make any sense.
It
I
wouldn't
don't
make any
think.
sense, yeah. That it's so large for what? For just humans?
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Human, we're not the only species out there.
Yeah.
No, no, and then what do you think about well, in Star Trek, right? I think the second movie they wanted to come for the most intelligent being, and I think it was the whales, right? Like they were like, oh, take us to your
Yeah.
your smartest.
And it was a
They're
whale.
your
yeah.
best
Yeah.
communicators.
I mean, there's also there's a lot we don't know about those creatures, you know, that we see every day, you know, and so imagine
Yeah.
creatures that are
Like
good at playing hide and
octopus.
seek.
Octopus.
Oh yeah,
There's a theory that octopi came from
octopodes.
That sounds like a Greek myth.
Right, because
mythology.
technically octopus is a Greek root.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll get into it on Patreon.
You seen the movie Octopussy? Yeah?
Doctor Octopussy is
No. No, that's a movie. That's it.
yeah, it's a Bond movie, but no, it's
there's a theory that says that octopus rode in on a comet.
right
That they were
panspermia.
because they can apparently survive the vacuum of space while frozen. They're embryo,
Are you
Right.
sure? Are you sure it wasn't the
like
calamari?
Sharknado.
The Mon
It's like
Calamari.
Sharknado.
It's a trap. Octopussy,
1980. No,
1983 spy film. Oh, it was a Roger
Yes.
Moore.
Roger Moore. Yeah.
Octopussy sounds like a good time. It was like 8.
Hold on a second here. Let me see something.
And so, do these how often are the encounters mostly, or are the do people go on the crafts, or is it just the beings are here, or is it just that they're already living here, just like in another
No.
dimension?
I think you have all types of incidents. You know, people get abducted, or maybe the ones that just see a UFO on the ground with an alien next to it, or see a UFO but never don't get abducted. So just
Right, and then
different-
because there's radio, there's Wi-Fi, and all these radio signals, you know, all over the place that we don't see, that we can't perceive. So it's entirely likely that there's
yeah,
the alien could be right, you know, from under the bed, from inside the house.
Yeah, like Monsters
we
Inc.
can only see
Right.
perceive a certain
Only see and
spectrum,
perceive
you know?
what we take with us, right? What we're prepared to see and perceive.
All right, so this is an article from CBS Evening News, and the article says U.S. tracking more than 650 potential UFOs. Official says.
That's outdated terminology.
So yeah,
UAPs
UAPs, but
is
this
the
guy
new
went back.
hotness.
This guy went back to old school UFOs. U.S.
UFOs.
government is investigating more than 650 potential UFO sightings. A Pentagon official confirmed Wednesday. Yeah, I wonder how serious.
You know what?
investigating-
It's incredible that the government's talking about.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
Right. This is pretty unprecedented.
And that
yeah.
Very,
just
very.
that video was released is incredible. It was leaked.
That
They
they
said,
admitted
But
that
they
there was
admitted it, right.
a craft that could not
Right,
be
exactly,
identified.
of this world. Yeah.
There's some
Sean
crazy Chinese spy balloons.
Kirkpatrick, director of the Defense Department's All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is
All Domain Anomaly
ARO. Okay. That was recently
ARO?
Aaron?
Aaron?
OSAP or ATIP or something like that. It was an
Just a
organization
tip.
that was dedicated to UAP tracking. Made the revelation in an appearance before a subcommittee of the Senate Armed Services Committee that they're tracking 650 sightings.
I'm sure
so,
it could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be the dirty communist, dude.
Yeah, I saw this video. This is a video, newly declassified video of an American military drone conducting surveillance in the Middle East.
That's this thing?
No, this is, I think so. That was that video right there. Showed an unidentified object zipping in and out of the frame. The video is slowed down. It appears to show a metallic sphere. But where it came from and what it was doing remains one of many such mysteries to the Pentagon. So I saw the video, and the drone looks like it's tracking something, but then as soon as that sphere starts crossing in front of the drone, the targeting system or the little square or whatever starts following the drone. So it's not an anomaly. I mean, it's
Right,
an
it's
actual.
not in the lens. It's not a
Right,
specular
this is
highlight or
something
anything. It's
that thing is locking
physically
onto.
there, right?
And then at
An
some
actual
point it just
craft.
flies out of
Right.
frame, but it's flying steadily across and changing direction, and it's not a piece of debris flying in an unorganized fashion. But
You know what movie scared the shit out of me as a young man,
Which
young
one?
boy?
which one? E.T.
Fire in the Sky. That because it just felt it was so like real and visceral, and the
Yeah.
story was so compelling.
Travis Walton.
What was that story about? Because I couldn't I still haven't
Yeah.
rewatched it.
Yeah.
Since I saw it in the movie theater.
The movie doesn't exactly depict what happened, but this is the incident of Travis Walton that was abducted back in November 1975 in Arizona, in front of 5 other witnesses.
Okay.
Yeah, he was out there with his buddies, right?
Yeah, they were logging, cutting down old growth and stuff. But that's
So he
what
got
happened.
taken on
What did he
a
say?
craft,
what,
and
what was his experience? What was Travis Walton's
No,
experience?
they fucked around with him, right? Like they probed
No,
him.
he freaked out and he tried to run. Actually, tried to run out, and he saw 2 type of aliens: the
The
short
sexy
grays, no,
Right.
the short grays, and the tall blonde Nordic
Oh,
in the
Okay.
craft,
yeah,
according to him. Yeah,
right.
and he's very believable incident.
Right,
Right.
exactly. So that
Yeah,
was
that,
1975 Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona.
And he was the only one abducted. And what was his life post that incident?
He was abducted for a few. He disappeared for a few days, and he showed up a number of days later. somewhere.
Yeah,
And he just went back to work, or like the next day,
I mean,
or
so
it
this-
probably
so
shook him.
this
No,
day, he can't stop talking. About it. But I mean, imagine if he believes he actually got abducted. So that's got to
Right.
be.
yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, we would have to have some sort of implant recording at all times.
Yeah,
To
I
have
mean,
verifiable.
And even then,
But even then, like not everything is measurable,
Right.
or
right.
quantifiable, really.
Yeah, if they're really, really trying to forget the effort that the government puts into obscure the existence of aliens to the public, but if they really don't want to be seen, they'll try everything and they're probably good at it.
Right.
So
Well, Albert, it's been an incredible pleasure having you on here.
Thanks for coming on.
I'm glad you guys met the other day.
sharing,
it's been my pleasure.
sharing
Thank
some
you guys have a lot.
knowledge,
Once
some
again, your
experience.
latest book, UFOs over Florida, Human and Other Strange Encounters in the Sunshine State, is available on Amazon, along with your 15 other books.
Find them all on Amazon.
Yeah,
And so, thank you.
humanoid encounters. Call. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.